The Chrysler was quick, guys, but it wasn't quick enough. How's it going out there, guys? Matt with Motorworks here, and I have a humongous? I have a ton of parts in front of me that are going to be going in the Chrysler 300 here, and I have to get it done pretty quickly. I only have about a week to get all this stuff done. Nothing like waiting until the last minute, but I scheduled a dyno appointment for the end of this week coming up, so I literally have 5 days, maybe a little bit more, about 7 days we'll give it, but realistically I only have 5 days, if I'm being honest, because I'd like to get a day in there where I can actually drive this around a little bit just to make sure everything sounds good before we slap it on a dyno and take it as fast as it'll go. But I said in the last video that we were going to be installing a camshaft, and I have that sucker right here. But we're not just going to be slapping a cam in the car and calling it good. I have a whole bunch of other pieces to go on the car, and I'll show you what I plan on doing and showing you that beautiful camshaft now. Alright, so this is the big 8-foot long table of all these yummy goodies for the Chrysler. Now, I've already installed the MSD ignition coils. I ordered these around the same time that I ordered all the rest of this. When the car was broken and down, I just kind of went crazy ordering stuff for it because I figured I was just going to knock it all out at once. And then I got an awesome motorcycle and kind of put this thing to the back burner. So I went drag racing. That was awesome. The car is 100% ready to go. So now we're going to make it quicker. And the way we're going to do it is by installing a camshaft. We're also going to install supporting mods and also going to be doing a little bit of maintenance to the car to make sure that it's as close to 100% as we can make it. Now, we're not doing anything crazy like replacing cam bearings. Stop it, sillies. We are going to look at them, but more than likely we're going to be looking at them with our squinted eyes because it does have good oil pressure now, so I don't think they're going to be an issue. But the parts I did get, I got a new timing set. Again, the engine has 165,000 miles on it, so I just thought it was a good idea to just put a fresh timing chain and a stock Mopar timing set in the car. So that's the stuff I got here for it. I went with the Comp Cams Stage 2 kit. Now initially I was going to buy the entire kit. Comp Cam sells a complete kit which comes with a cam, comes with lifters, push rods, springs, everything to, you know, install the cam and then also support the cam's profile. You know, it's going to, this camshaft is good from about 1900 RPM to roughly 7,000-ish. They show peak being at about 6,700, but you can probably, you know, you probably stretch it to 7 if you have some decent supporting mods, or if you've got, you know, power adder, nitrous, a blower, something like that. But at that Stage 2 cam was one of the best performance gain camshafts that I saw out there as far as low, mid, and high range torque and horsepower. It just gives you power everywhere, and it's not just a peaky camshaft. It actually has a little bit of meat, you know, in the mid-range. So it was the best. It's kind of the best of both worlds. The Stage 1 isn't that much better than stock, and the Stage 3 is just a high revving camshaft where, you know, you pretty much have to be on a drag strip to get the complete usage out of it. So this would be the most user-friendly, driver-friendly, you know, street strip camshaft that, and that's why I went with the Stage 2. Now when I ordered this, because of the part supply issue, I couldn't get the Comp Cam Stage 2 kit. So that's what actually led me to High Horse Performance, which is where I got all of these parts from. I got it from their website. And I actually spoke with the folks on the phone there. Very knowledgeable folks. They have some of the fastest Gen 3 Hemis out there. And they told me everything that I needed. They're the ones that told me, no, don't worry about the stock stuff, the stock stuff's just fine on the timing. You know, I'm not doing anything extreme. This camshaft should be perfectly fine. I don't really necessarily have to degree it in. So, you know, they said just go with the stock timing set and you should be just fine. Now, since I didn't get the Comp Cam Stage 2 kit, they actually put together a Stage 2 kit. And you can get the Comp camshaft, or you can get one of their special ground camshafts, special grind camshafts, you know, to get that little extra peak horsepower out of it, a little bit more torque, whatever you want. They'll custom grind it for that need. But again, like I said, this is the most user friendly. Drop in, don't worry about it. They recommend these PSI performance springs. They are a beehive spring, not a double. They're not a dual spring, they're just a single beehive spring. Now the significance of these and what's nice about these is they actually still utilize the Hemi or Chrysler stock spring retention plate or holder. So what that does is it just cradles this spring, and if the spring ever were to break, instead of it falling apart and your valve dropping into the engine, that cradle holds on to that spring. Maybe you'll lose a little bit of power, but it won't destroy your whole engine. You'll just have to throw another spring in the car. You know, not a lot of aftermarket springs allow you to use that stock retainer plate or retainer carrier that they have in there. So, you know, they highly recommended that you go with these because of that. So I went with those PSI springs. Now everything is going to be matched to this camshaft and work with that camshaft. You know, they put these kits together so they're worry-free. Another thing that came with the kit is push rods. Again, these are just drop-in push rods. They tell you which one's the intake and which one's the exhaust. You know, the lengths are definitely way different, so it should be a no-brainer to figure out which one goes where. I went with a Melling oil pump. This is pretty much just a better performing version of the stock pump. It's not a high volume, it's nothing crazy like that. It's just pretty much just an upgraded stock pump. You know, there's a bunch of different versions of this oil pump you can get. I just went with the stock style. I was going to just get the Mopar one, but again, they didn't have that in stock at the time, so I just went with the Melling because I've heard a lot of good things out of these. So that's kind of what I did there. Went with Mopar lifters. Absolutely, I'm going to replace lifters. Anybody want to take a guess at how many of my lifters are going to be destroyed when I actually pull the engine apart? Everybody says that these things chew lifters up like it's no tomorrow, so we'll see. So I just went with stock OEM Mopar lifters. The kit comes with, I believe these are titanium. I don't have to hold a magnet to them and tell, but these are the retainers. It does come with shims. I do have to shim, I believe, the intake springs. For whatever reason, I need to shim them. I'm going to do a little bit of research on that, but you do get 8 shims here for the intake side. All new head bolts. Just because of the engine having higher mileage, I went with all brand new head bolts. Brand new valve guide seals. I went with the Mopar parts because everybody said that these are the best option to go with. You know, guys have gone with the Felpros, but they've had issues. And you know, the Mopar stuff, again, these guys, they've done this probably hundreds of times. So if they recommended it, I just went with it because they've done enough of these that they know. The camshaft, the beautiful camshaft. I already explained why I went with this one. I'll just show you the specs on this one here. Alright, so there are the cam specs on the cam. Again, like I said, it's a sub 600 thousandths, you know, and it's just under. But like I said, this is the most broad power range camshaft I found. And it's going to give me the best bang for my buck, I believe. Just looking at dyno results and just the reviews of this camshaft, it should be a decent camshaft for what I'm looking for. Now, as far as the service items are concerned, new set of valve cover gaskets. I believe The ones that are on there are leaking just a little bit, so we're getting new valve cover gaskets, new timing cover gasket, intake manifold gaskets. Obviously, I went with the Cometics. They really like the Cometics. They say they hold up a lot better than the OEMs. I went with Mopar stock head gaskets. They say they're just fine. Being a multi-layer steel gasket, they don't have any issues with these. Even if you run boost through them, they say these hold up perfectly fine. In this box here is just a brand new water pump. Again, I went with OEM, the Mopar stuff. I got a new belt tensioner, new serpentine belt tensioner, and a new serpentine belt. And as you already saw it, I went with a new timing chain set. So that's what I went with. Like I said, I'm going to see what the cam bearings look like, but more than likely, I'm going to put my super squints on and just kind of let them be the way they are. Because, again, this is making awesome oil pressure. I don't really suspect that those cam bearings are going to be worn out at this time. Alright, so that's everything that I'm going to be putting into the car. I'm going to try my best to do this as much as I can during the daytime. And as you can see, I don't know if you can see behind me, it's dark out. It's definitely nighttime right now. I kind of want to take you through the process that I go through to install this stuff. This is the very first time that I'll be working on a V8 engine at all. I've taken Honda engines apart, Subaru engines apart, I've taken motorcycle engines apart, all 4-cylinder, single-cylinder, 2-cylinder. You know, I've never taken a V8 engine apart. I've been told it's a super easy job to do. The Hemis is one of the easiest engines to actually disassemble and put back together. They say that these are a lot less complex than, you know, some of the other platforms out there. So I'm excited to get started. I want to take you guys along on a journey. It's going to be kind of a how do I instead of a how to. You know, it's going to be more of that. This is how I learn how to do this stuff. Everybody always says to me in the comments or asks me, you know, how do you get into this stuff? How do you learn this stuff? How do you know so much? You jump in feet first, you get your hands dirty, you figure some stuff out. I may be putting this together and taking it right back apart because I forgot something. But that's going to be part of the journey, guys. I'm super pumped to get started on it. Like I said, as soon as I get this video out and it's light out again, I'm going to get cranking, man. We're going to get some wrenches spinning and get this thing stripped down, cleaned up, and built, hopefully in a week, and have it on the dyno by next week. But just come along on a journey with me, guys. This is going to be great. Until the next video, when I'm tearing this thing apart, we'll see you around, guys. Thanks for checking this one out.